Every morning inside the gates of Buckingham Palace, long before the first royal engagement or the opening of Parliament, a quiet ritual unfolds. One that reveals far more about King Charles than any public appearance ever could behind those gilded doors. His breakfast table is not just a meal, it's a statement of discipline, heritage, and deeply personal taste. For decades, the royal breakfast has been shrouded in mystery, whispered about by former palace staff and speculated on by royal watchers. But today, we're lifting the silver lid on the truth. What does the King of the United Kingdom really eat every morning, and why does it matter so much? Royal insiders say his morning routine begins early, around 7:30. The air in Clarence House is still, except for the faint sound of footsteps echoing through polished corridors as the royal chef prepares the first tray of the day. It's a quiet ceremony, everything placed in perfect symmetry. But here's where the intrigue begins. Because unlike most people, the king's breakfast isn't about indulgence, it's about control. He's known to eat the same selection almost every day, and every item on that plate tells a story. Let's start with what has become the most famous part of his morning ritual: the fruit bowl. You might imagine a lavish spread of tropical fruit from around the Commonwealth, but the truth is far more particular. His Majesty insists that each piece of fruit be carefully measured, sliced to precise thickness, and served in a specific order. Former staff have revealed that he prefers a mix of organic plums, peaches, and pears. Never too ripe, never chilled, each serving is arranged on fine porcelain from the royal collection. It's less a breakfast, more an expression of royal precision. But wait until you hear about the next item, a food that seems ordinary but carries an extraordinary rule. The king has a lifelong preference for homemade bread and honey, but not just any honey. It must come from his own royal estates. From the gardens of Highgrove, his country residence, the palace beekeepers supplied jars of golden honey, each one labelled and dated. He reportedly checks the label before eating, ensuring it's from his personal hives. It's a breakfast fit for a monarch, but one grounded in sustainability and self-sufficiency. For the king, even breakfast is an opportunity to quietly champion the environment. Next comes a dish that surprises many: porridge. Yes, the King of England begins many mornings with oats. But this isn't instant oatmeal. The oats are soaked overnight, simmered slowly in water, not milk, and stirred clockwise, following a family tradition believed to bring good luck. It's served in a silver porringer, often topped with seeds or dried fruit. Former royal chefs have said that this simple bowl is among his most sacred routines, one he's kept since his naval days. While the world expects grandeur, the king prefers routine, a glimpse of order in a life lived under scrutiny. But perhaps the strangest part of all is not what he eats, but what he refuses to eat. The king reportedly avoids coffee altogether, favouring Darjeeling tea, poured from a specific teapot and steeped for exactly 4 minutes. The cup is placed on a saucer lined with a folded napkin, angled precisely to his right. And here's the secret detail: he takes milk only after the tea, never before. In royal etiquette, this is known as MIF, milk in second, a subtle distinction that was once used to identify upper-class households. For the king, it's not pretension, it's precision, a quiet preservation of royal ritual. Now, the eggs. The eggs, one of the most debated parts of royal breakfast lore. For years, rumours have claimed that the king insists on 7 eggs being boiled every morning, all to slightly different degrees of doneness, so that one will always be perfect. Former palace staff have both confirmed and denied the story, but one thing remains certain. When it comes to eggs, His Majesty prefers them soft-boiled, served in a silver cup, and never cracked by anyone but himself. It's a ritual of control, a way to begin the day with something certain in an uncertain world. But not everything on the royal breakfast table is purely British. The king also enjoys muesli, a nod to his health-conscious lifestyle. It's often mixed with seeds, dried fruits, and honey from his Highgrove estate. Some mornings, he pairs it with a small serving of fruit juice, never too sweet and always freshly pressed. The combination may seem modest, but to him, it's a reflection of mindfulness. His meals are not for pleasure alone. They're expressions of discipline, values, and environmental respect. And speaking of values, the king's breakfast tray often includes an item few would expect: a small jar of his own homemade marmalade. The tradition dates back to his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who was known for her love of toast and marmalade at breakfast. His Majesty carries that forward, producing jars under his Duchy Originals brand, made from organic oranges. This isn't just nostalgia, it's legacy on a plate. A continuation of the quiet royal mornings that have defined the British monarchy for generations. Then comes a ritual that borders on superstition. Before leaving the table, the king reportedly checks that everything has been properly cleared in a specific order. Cups, then plates, then cutlery. It's not fussiness, it's a system of order and calm, a method he's used for decades. Those who know him say it's symbolic, a way of ensuring that before facing the public eye, his private world is perfectly aligned. And finally, perhaps the most telling part of all, the silence. Breakfast in the royal household is not a loud affair. It's often taken alone, with newspapers spread neatly across the table, no phones, no interruptions, just reflection. For the king, that hour is sacred, an invisible shield between the solitude of dawn and the demands of duty. Each element of this routine, from the honey to the tea, tells a story of a man who lives by ritual, by meaning, by a sense of continuity. To the outside world, it might seem obsessive, but to those inside palace walls, it's simply the rhythm of royalty. His breakfast isn't just food, it's philosophy, a way to begin the day with balance, dignity, and quiet control. So the next time you see the king on television, remember this. Before the ceremonies, the speeches, the world stage, there is the table, a silver tray, a cup of Darjeeling, a slice of honeyed toast, and a ritual older than the throne itself. And that perhaps is the greatest royal secret of all.